All right, welcome back. We have a lot of colors.
Every line is lit up. You're very popular.
You're popular. Hey, Ed, thanks for calling. What's your question?
I'm going to do it. Well, you give me one time. I just put the water lemons down.
Hey, Ed, thanks for calling. What's your question? Ed? Ed? All right, I think we lost Ed. We'll just, well, let's move on. Hey, Reverend Fuzz, thanks for calling. What's your question?
Yeah, let me turn this down here so you can.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me better now. I guess I get probably 2 or 3 times a week somebody calls and I say I need to get a lawyer to give me an answer about that. I don't know. One yesterday was this, and I'm gonna tell you up front. I had a lawyer friend to give me their opinion about what it ought to be.
Yep.
I'll see how y'all might differ.
All righty.
But a co-worker who pays child support was complaining that the child support money was not going to the benefit of the kids.
Yes.
And they wanted to sue somebody or whatever. And I was one that said, I don't know if they got standing on that or not. I need to ask a lawyer about it. So I did get an answer back from a lawyer.
Okay.
And, all emotions and thoughts aside, just, matter of fact, does a non-custodial parent have a standing to sue that custodial parent if they don't think the child support money is being used the right way? And what's the right way or wrong ways you can use it that you can be charged or not charged for? You're innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And one more quick question that's separate and apart is kind of like what bothers me on a social level.
All right. Hit it one time, Pastor. And I love all pastors. Thank you for helping the best you can in directing. You keep doing it.
Yeah, well, let me get this other question in about Nashville, Tennessee, zip code 37208 has the highest incarceration rate in the nation. What, you got a thought about that? Is there any, that Nashville 37208 zip code, and that's confirmed by like the mayor, the council, lots of, people have quoted that number, the district attorney, the police, that's a confirmed number, they say. Unless, it's fake news, but I don't think so. But that's really something in Nashville. 37208 is like the middle of the city, and it has the highest incarceration rate of any zip code in the nation.
Wow.
So you got to reply to something like that. I'm just open-minded.
I know, and thank you again for calling, and thank you for what you do all through the week. The question on the child support, every time you go to child support, somebody stands up there and they complain to the judge. I've heard it 100 times. She is not taking the money for the child support, and she is blowing it. And the judge has always had this position in many counties, in many different divisions. That child support goes to her. It is her responsibility to provide the rent, to provide the food, provide the clothing, and they won't really let you absolutely monitor how she spends that money. Is it legal for you to say, well, I'm going to pay the child support, but I'm going to go buy the groceries, I'm buying the formula, and I'm buying the clothes, here's receipts? No, the law will not allow you to do that. So if the court order says you must pay $600 a month, what must you do? You must pay $600 a month. Always honor the court's order. If you don't, you're held in contempt. You can go to jail. It's just a problem.
So what if the non-custodial parent has proof that this is not going to the child? Well, does it matter? Does that even matter?
In my professional opinion, it may matter in a child custody fight. Didn't necessarily mean that, and so many times I can't get through to it with child support alone, and if they're being that irresponsible, we'll file for custody. And then we can show a whole lot of different things, and there's a whole lot more evidence that can come in. Back to the pastor's second question about that. It's always alarming whenever you have some segment of a population that it has a higher incarceration. And, I've never really held public office, but I'm very, very sensitive. And what is the answer? And I'm always asking judges, politicians. I like to hear what they think. And I've had some say, well, I don't want to answer a social question. I said, well, I respect that. And then I've had others say, Kevin, we just need more Jesus in there. We need more churches in there. We need more mentors in there. And I say, that's right. How can we do that together partner with the churches and the civic clubs and the politicians? How can we have a partnership with the police where trust is there? That's the discussion, and that's where pastors really do come in. First identify the problem, then let's get us some options and discuss it.
But I like what you said, work together.
Absolutely,
we've got together. Hey Bob, thanks for holding. What's your question?
Oh yeah, y'all are really good doing this. I had some chemo and laser, and they put in a port. I'm not terrible with operations anyway. Port was supposed to last like 10 or 20 years or something. You know, that was for the chemo, so that it wouldn't have any holes. But it messed up, and they had to take it out after 2 years. And it's just kicked up my bill so much. I'm on a disability, and I've got this I've got good insurance, but I'm ending up. I've asked them for help. I'm not concerned about that, but that port, I complained to the doctors and stuff. They're supposed to keep it clean.
Yes.
And obviously, I don't know what happened. It might have been a malfunctioning port or something.
Yes.
And I've got till August to do anything in court.
Yes.
So who do I call it?
Well, one of the first things I would pursue is I'd talk to my doctor if he was shooting straight with me. You know, they always talk about bedside manner. Does the doctor legitimately care? Is he doing everything he can in his power? Does he say, you know, really, Kevin, the port was defective? Okay, doc. And I've got the greatest doctors around, and I love them. If I had one that I thought was misleading me, being deceptive, wouldn't tell me, I got a problem with that. And I may have to go to an administrator and say, you know, I'm going to file a formal complaint because we're not getting the quality of care that your hospital represents. And so, again, we go back to that. You must always advance your cause. I love to have someone go with me because it's so hard to hear and understand everything. Bring your wife, bring your sister, bring a friend, bring the pastor. You heard me say I love pastors. They're not being paid. They just go because they care. And I'll get on the soapbox. The pastor over here was talking about all social injustice. I can get fired up over something. And my heart breaks to hear these hospital people who have really nowhere, and they're looking to the lawyers. Help me.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. The stories we're hearing just from medical situations.
They're giving me chill bumps. It can bring tears to my eyes, and it's overwhelming. And, you know, realistically, they say, why lawyers are under so much stress because some people come, and we're the last vestige. They need some help. They need some direction. So thank you for that question. Keep pursuing it.
All right. Hey, Margaret, thanks for holding. What's your question? Yes, Margaret, what's your question?
Hi. Yeah, my question is about a doctor that I've been going to for over 25 years that's getting ready to retire now. And getting a hold of my medical records, they really want to charge me a whole lot of money. And I thought the medical records were mine anyway.
Okay, good question. Those medical records are yours. Everywhere you try to get the medical records, they are going to charge you. They're going to charge your doctor. They're going to charge. And so I think it would be interpreted a reasonable expense. Now, if they came back and was unreasonable, then that's governed by the medical board. It could be policy within a hospital. But yes, and if your doctor was getting ready to retire, I think that's a good idea to get my medical records. Know what kind of medicines I've been allergic to. What have I been exposed to? What's the problems in the past?
For instance, so you do have to pay for those records.
As that, yes. What would be a reasonable expense? Yes.
So what's considered an average price?
Well, that's a good question, and it all gets down to, well, some people have 6 inches of medical bills, you know, and what is the bill? What are the x-rays? What are the notes? And you know, one of the things that I think I've learned over the years is we'll ask for them, and then we have to ask again because we don't get them all.
I mean, are we talking about hundreds of dollars?
Oh, sometimes it can be, absolutely.
Wow.
It's just very similar to bank records too. You know, you say, I'd like to get these old bank records. That's fine, but we have a fee to pursue that. You'll have to pay a research fee. It's almost everywhere we go. It's always costs money. Yes.
All right. Grace. Hey, Grace. Good evening. What's your question?
I live in a historic district home.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had my kitchen renovated several years ago, and it was coded by the city of Nashville.
All right.
For food production. And so then I started taking care of my family, father and mother and daughter, and they died, and a brother. And so the time went by, and so then I decided to put in a gas line in my aisle.
Okay.
Well, I had this man come out from a company here in Nashville, and he gave me a bid, and he said, oh, $200 won't be anything to that. And I explained to him very detailed about how I had redone this kitchen and raised this area 12 inches.
Yes.
The floor and etc. I explained every detail because I have a master's in institutional management, and I've been doing this, all my life. Now I'm 83 years old. So then he said it'll be $200, and I'll come with the men. Well, I then bought a range to be put in, and the man that delivered it looked at me and turned really strange, and he said, when was the last time the gas man was here? And I said, well, he told me that it would be nothing to place that line in.
We already know where this is going. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to say, look.
So he said, then when the company came out, they charged me $450. They came out with the batteries not charged to the drills. They took out stones from my foundation, and then they had never pulled an inspection, and they refusing to pay me, except they have offered now $200, and that will not cover it because I gave them $450 because the guy that came was very crude and rude.
I heard you. Well, I'll tell you this. Well, that's the lesson for everyone, is to look at the Better Business Bureau. Try to find out something about these, because people will tell you anything, and I'm so sorry to hear this, and that could have been an absolute disaster. They come and say, well, all we need to remove is these stones. They could be the main stones for the entire I-beam of the home, and as a result, you could have it fall. It could get into thousands of dollars. So what do we learn? You are really good to even think about this gas line. Can I get it approved? And will it pass building and codes? Or will somebody make a complaint and they come in and shut me down? All those things. Investigate, investigate, investigate. Do you have a right to sue those people? Absolutely. Can you file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau? Absolutely. Can you file a complaint with the Tennessee Bureau of Consumer Affairs? Absolutely. Can you sue them in General Sessions Court? Absolutely.
That's one reason. I don't know, for me, we've done stories. Always check even the BBB for any place that considers itself a business. I mean, sometimes all this, everything is there. It's like that's one research tool. So.
Well, we've all been guilty of it. My father was a barber, and he used to say, and I said, well, I'm going to build those steps. My dad said, get it in writing. I said, Daddy, I'm the lawyer. He said, get it in writing. And so he was giving me words of wisdom. I'm sorry to hear about that, but some others were going to benefit from your call, and so thank you for calling.
Exactly. Good question. All right, stay tuned. We'll have much more. Ask the Attorney Night. If you have any other questions, we have a few minutes left. Make sure to call then. Bye-bye. Or we'll come back.
Storm